Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today the snowfall amounts have been adjusted according to the National Weather Service for the immediate metropolitan area. Earlier yesterday, the potential impact and confidence was high impact and low confidence for the Piedmont, same thing for the Allegheny front, and no change along the I-95 corridor. But today the impact has been adjusted down to medium, but the confidence has been adjusted up to medium confidence, same thing for the Allegheny front, but no change for the I-95 corridor. However, this may continue to evolve since we are still around 3 to 4 days out from this event, so a lot of things can still change. So now we can look at the 7 day or less than 4 to 7 day track of these winter storms. So for the immediate DC area, we are seeing 10 to 30% chance of more than 0.25 inches, 30 to 50% chance out near Sterling and Leesburg, and the higher the chances, the further west into the mountains you go. So now we look at the American model. This is the total snowfall for the event. By the end of the event, at around January 7th, in the immediate metro area, we could be seeing, like, inside the district, it's approximately the really light blue, and the darker blue is around 1 to 2 inches. Along the Beltway to Sterling and Reston, it's around 3 to 5 inches. At this bend in the Potomac, maybe out to Great Falls, it's about 3 to 5 inches here. And the further west you go into the Blue Ridge, Shenandoah, maybe Leesburg, Purcellville, it's around maybe 10 or even up to 1 foot into the higher elevations along the Blue Ridge tops. So for the storm track, this storm is currently right here inside Nevada and trying to cross into the Four Corners region right now. It will continue to go through Texas and the southern states and then into further north, and by 1 p.m. or maybe 11 to 1 p.m. on January 6th, precipitation should initiate as snow in the DC area, but as time progresses, this rain snow line goes west through the metro area and into the bend in the Potomac around the Great Falls area, maybe Gaithersburg, Potomac, further south into Clifton and Manassas. And as time continues to progress into the early morning hours of Sunday, the storm has basically cleared out of the area except for Maryland. Much of Virginia is now precipitation free and has solidly shifted to rain, and the storm has moved further north and intensified. So for the American model, we can see that the storm races across and onto the eastern seaboard. Within 6 hours, it has passed from Georgia to up the coast into offshore of Virginia Beach. And over the next 6 hours, it will take a jog north. It will take a jog north from here to here. And then it will continue to shift east and further northeast and onto the coast near the Jersey shore and continue to go out and east away. So if we look at the European model now, we can see that the new snow for this event, maybe around Reston, it's around 2 inches, and in the immediate Beltway area in the district, it's about 0.8 inches to 1 inch. This European model is predicting much less snow than the American model, but this situation may change. As you can see, there is similarity between these two models. It still starts as wet snow, but for the European model, as time progresses, it becomes isolated pockets of freezing rain and snow mixed, which might be sleet or freezing rain. The thing is, there isn't a really massive elevation change in Ashburn versus Reston and Tysons. So we may have to see on Google Maps that there isn't much elevation change here. So it may end up as a continuous line stretching from Washington into Germantown and out towards Towson and further north. And as time continues to progress, by 6 p.m., heavier rain is crossing into the region. The rain snow line is basically remaining the same, but now rain and snow mix Mixing has intruded into South Riding and further north into Ashburn and Sterling. While previously it was still 35 degrees, but these areas were not getting any rain and snow mix, so this may be some suspiciousness that the European model may even out in the coming days. And as time continues to progress, these two models remain in a consensus. Heavier rain and much less freezing rain inside the immediate metro area, and by the early morning hours of Sunday, much of it has cleared out and gone into New York. While this storm, according to the European model, is still racing across the southern states and going onto the eastern seaboard, it is taking a more northerly track and hugging the coast more closely. As you can see, it's still on the coast, while the American model was saying it was already offshore of South Carolina. And it's still not offshore of Virginia Beach, it's still inshore, so that's still about 1 to 200 miles further west of where the American model expects it to be. And the storm continues to hug the coast. This is the low pressure center right here. It's not even offshore, it's taking a track inshore along the fall line and Piedmont areas and the coastal plain area of Virginia and into Delaware and Maryland. As you can see, it has crossed into Delaware and finally moved offshore. So the American model and European models do not currently have consensus on the storm track. There is approximately a 200 to 300 mile difference on their tracks, and it remains to be seen whether the American model or the European model may prevail. However, I think that the American model is more true because the American model has been much more consistent than the European model about the storm remaining offshore and intensifying here versus tracking onshore onto the Delmarva Peninsula and out to sea like the European model says. Thank you for watching.